Hey, it's CVV, Chris Van Vliet, and you have to check out the fastest rising podcast in all of professional wrestling. I'm talking about the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. If you're looking for pay-per-view predictions, if you're looking for pay-per-view reviews, if you're looking for interviews, check out the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. Crash and Burn!
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the fastest rising podcast in all of pro wrestling, the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast, where tonight is another throwback pay-per-view. We're going to be reviewing TLC 2010. We're kind of short on staff tonight, but that's not the problem here. I am your host for tonight. As always, I am the hate savior of professional wrestling, pro wrestling superprince and the throat-slitting king, the assassin, Josh Danker. And yeah, we're back with our final episode of Crash and Burn for the year 2020. But yeah, I'm here with Jason, my co-host.
Hello everybody. Welcome to the fastest wrestling podcast in pro wrestling, the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. Welcome back to our final episode of 2020. First of all, fuck this year.
Yeah. As we will, before we get into our episode for today, sad news in the wrestling world. Today, AEW superstar, Brody Lee, formerly known in the WWE as Luke Harper, passed away at the age of 41, due to a non-COVID lung issue. Very sad day in the wrestling world. Brody Lee passed away at the age of 41 years old. But if we could just take a moment of silence as we toll the bell 10 times.
Yeah, guys, let's make this a moment of silence for Brody Lee, because at the time of recording, unfortunately, we at Crash and Burn are bummed to hear about this news.
Yes.
So, let's shut our mouths.
Tragic. As we toll the bell 10 times.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you.
And shit, I dropped my phone. Okay.
Alright.
Alright, you're in charge for the last episode of 2020. I'll shut up.
Alright, so we are going to be reviewing TLC 2010, a blast from the past from my childhood. So yeah, let's get on with the matches. First match we had was a singles match for the United States title. Daniel Bryan defeated Ted DiBiase Jr. with Maurice.
That was a dark match?
I believe
That was
so.
dark?
I really don't know if it was on.
I'll pass on this match. I'll pass on this match. So you go ahead with that and share your thoughts. I'll pass on this.
Yeah, it was a match that existed.
I'm gonna play the show quietly.
It was obviously boring. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on this one.
Alright, I'm actually playing the show for my TV as well.
Nice.
But due to copyright issues, I'm gonna play with low volume.
Alright, the next match. Dolph Ziggler defeated Jack Swagger and Kofi Kingston to retain the Intercontinental title in a triple threat ladder match. This was a match that pretty much existed as well. It wasn't one of the best matches, but I thought it was a solid match. I actually liked it. How about you, Jason?
I also like this match too. This was a solid way to kick off the show. Carry on, Mr. Assassin.
Let's do it. Number 3. Third match. Beth Phoenix and Natalya defeated Lay Cole in a tables match. Oh, this match was terrible. I mean, it was cool to see, like, the women get involved in, like, the TLC kind of stuff, but it was, the match was kind of boring, in my opinion. This is slowly like Beth Phoenix when she was slowly in the heel role at that time, but, no. I think she became heel in, like, 2011. But yeah, it was a solid match. but it was boring at the same time. What did you think about it, Jason?
It was okay. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it's a match that existed. Next match, Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov defeated the Nexus of Heath, Slather, and Justin Gabriel by disqualification in a tag team match for the WWE Tag Team titles. I really, this was kind of like the start of the Nexus getting this was kind of the start of where the Nexus was getting into things. But yeah, this match was good. I thought it was a great match. Jason,
Solid match on the show. Santino Marella, Vladimir, Kozlov, they killed it along with the Nexus.
Yes.
Enjoyable match.
Yeah. Alright, next match. It was a ladder match to determine the number one contender to the WWE Championship. John Morrison defeated King Sheamus. Now, if you're wondering why I said King Sheamus, it was when Sheamus was the King of the Ring at that year. So, it was King Sheamus. So, yeah, it was a match that was really well. I liked how John Morrison was performing during that whole match.
No.
John Morrison...
Shush, be quiet for a minute. You meant very well.
Yes. I liked how John Morrison performed very well in this match. With the style of parkour, John Morrison really knows how to put on a 5-star match. And he should have been WWE champion at least once, but he's back 8 years later. But yeah, John Morrison really showed a lot of great stunts in this match, like he always does. See, this was one of my favorite matches of the night, pretty much, at the time that show existed. Go ahead, Jason. Share your thoughts.
Now, ladder matches are always enjoyable, so I enjoyed this match. Match of the night, I'll say.
Alright. Next match. The Miz with Alex Ryleigh defeated Randy Orton in a tables match for the WWE title. Yeah, but this was when The Miz was constantly getting shoved down Michael Cole's throat. Or actually, I could say Michael Cole shoved The Miz down his... Or actually, Michael Cole's head was shoved up The Miz's ass during that year. But yeah, I'm a Miz fan nowadays, but he was so annoying at the time. But I like him now.
Awesome.
Yep. But, yeah, this match was good. Randy Orton should have won. But I didn't mind The Miz winning. You know, I think it was like when he was popular at that time. What'd you think, Jason?
This match is okay. They both killed it in tables match.
It existed.
Though Randy should have won anyways. Alright.
This was Fatal 4-Way Tables, Ladders, and Chairs.
Your husband, Edge.
World Heavyweight title. My favorite wrestler of all time, Edge, defeated Kane, that certain someone who is in jail, better known as Alberto Del Rio, with Ricardo Rodriguez, and Rey Mysterio. Now, Edge, this was kind of like where Edge was kind of was when he was in his prime. And I was very happy with the result. I mean, Kane was such a boring World Heavyweight Champion at that time. I just remember him, like, you know, being the most boring champion after he cashed in on Rey Mysterio at Money in the Bank. I was like, Kane is barely doing anything with this title. Give it to someone more worthy. So they actually put it on Edge, and as of the time of recording, Edge is no longer doing TLC matches, you know, because he's getting older now, and stuff like that. But I thought this was a match that was really well. I loved how all the spots.
Very well.
Yes. I love that spot where Del Rio got shoved off the ladder and went through a table. That was just awesome. And then Edge putting Kane through a table. But yeah, this match was definitely the match of the night. Like, pretty much second to... Well, I'd say Morrison and Sheamus was the second best match, but Edge, the Fatal 4-Way match was my favorite. How about you? What did you think, Jason?
First off, you said that match wrong. I'm going to say it for you now. This match, everybody, we have Josh's husband, Edge, defeating Kane, Alberto Del Rio, and Rey Mysterio in a Fatal 4-Way Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match for the World Heavyweight title. Anyways, this was also match of the night. I loved it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Josh's husband killed it.
Hey, watch out. Yeah, he did. That's when he was in his prime.
See, I had to fix it for you. I'm such an idiot. Okay, next up.
Right now to the left. This is the final match of the show. A chairs match between John Cena and current NXT commentator Wade Barrett. Now, I only have to say this before we get into the match. Wade Barrett, come back to the ring, please. You are like my favorite NXT
Stop commentating.
Season 1 veteran. Yeah, get back in the ring. Like, dude.
Someone else can join Vic Joseph.
Wrestler. Yeah, like Nigel McGuinness. But
Bring
yeah,
him back to NXT.
They could. I mean, of course, this was when everybody's favorite John Cena was in his on his game plan, and really was the man who was the Superman. He kicked at it too. He never gave up, and he did everything to be the winner. But I really think it was time to put Wade Barrett over at that time. But of course, they want to make the kids happy, and they made John Cena win, which I'm not going to judge anybody. I love John Cena till this very day. I think John Cena is pretty much why everybody gets into wrestling. But I thought this match was great. Chairs matches are kind of like the weakest match. Like, I like tables, ladders, and chairs, but chairs, it was kind of like a boring concept because it was just chairs. It's not like there's tables and ladders together. But it was still a great way to end this show. And of course, John Cena won. That was the best thing. So what'd you think, Jason?
What a way to end off the show. These two killed it in the ring. But John Cena and Wade Barrett had a great storyline together.
Yeah.
And let's move on to the ratings. So Josh, how would you rate the show?
I'd give the show a 9 out of 10. I thought it was good.
Okay, and I'll give this 9 out of 10 as well because there is a match that I didn't really care for.
Yeah.
Anyways, Alex,
alrighty, guys.
You can start it off since I'm taking a break this episode.
Alright. Alrighty, guys, that about wraps it up for today's episode. I know we were a little short on staff here, but we would like to thank you guys for watching the fastest rising podcast in all of pro wrestling, the Crash and Burn Wrestling podcast. I got that little thing, but it's okay. Okay, I actually caught myself there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the fastest rising podcast in all of pro wrestling, the Crash and Burn Wrestling podcast. Follow us on the social medias, please. Follow us on Twitter at Crash and Burn Pod. We kind of need more followers on there, even though we're barely active on the Twitter. So
I'm active on there.
Yeah, but follow us on Twitter. Follow our Instagram at Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. That's where you will find all updates for the podcast when an episode drops. Our schedule will always be posted on our story. And yeah, tell us in the comments below what throwback pay-per-view would you like to do next. We are actually doing New Year's Resolution 2005. Stay tuned for that. And get ready for the new year. Follow everybody on their socials that wasn't here on this episode. And the people that were here, follow us on our socials. And yeah, this is the Hate Savior Pro Wrestling, the Assassin signing off and thanking you for checking out the Crash and Burn Wrestling podcast. Jason, over to you.
First of all, I would like to say thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Crash and Burn Wrestling podcast, our last episode of 2020. We want to thank you all for the support that you've given us during 2020, our first year on Crash and Burn. And we also want to thank you all for the support on the Mojcast, where you can catch both of us on there, which is the loudest podcast in all music. The Mojcast. I'm coming soon. The videos will be dropping is Code Orange Underneath album review, and the Motionless and White Creatures episode is going to be going up soon. We like to shout out everybody on that podcast. We want to shout out Josh's Toy Show, myself at Wrestling Fan 15, Max Metal Rock Reviews, Antwan at Dark Rebel Ant1, and Evan, Ronald Van Donald, James, and Cassie. James Team 316, Cassie Diarrhea M. Our favorite piece of shit, Mike Schiff. Michael.Shift. And yeah, play Minecraft. Subscribe to Tuck Your Chin if you guys still want to support, even though unfortunately we stopped that podcast.
Yes, we officially have called off Tuck Your Chin. I mean, Tuesday will be the farewell.
Yeah,
to
stay
all the
tuned
people
for
that
our
have been. Yeah,
farewell
stay
episode.
tuned for that. And for everybody who supported Tuck Your Chin, we would like to thank you, and we hope you stick with Crash and Burn moving forward, because we are now we have earned that title as the fastest rising podcast in professional wrestling.
And don't forget the Moshcast. If you guys want some music content, check that out. Where you can catch both of us on there.
Yep. And yeah.
And another shout out goes to my friends from Minecraft. Y'all have been amazing. Yes, join that server today. IP down below.
Yes, and guys, before we end this episode. 2020 was only just the year that we started this whole podcast, and look where we're at right now. Get ready for 2021, because there's going to be a lot of big things to look forward to for this podcast.
Yes, for
there's
example,
going to be a lot of
the Royal Rumble 2021 predictions coming up.
Yes, our first Royal Rumble predictions. But
kicks off the road to WrestleMania 37.
And yeah, let's look for a better 2021.
Happy New Year, everybody, and I hope you guys had a great Christmas.
Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
let's
everybody.
Let's make 2021 the best year of Crash and Burn, even though 2020 was even down there.
Goes away.
Yeah, don't worry. Crash and Burn's just getting started.
All
We
right,
will see you guys for the first episode of 2021.
Coming soon. Funny moments. Take care, everybody. Rock on.
Crash and Burn!